Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of us holds the power to completely change our lives, not just for a moment, not just for a season, but forever. The truth is, transformation doesn't require magic. It requires decision, discipline, and direction. Life doesn't change by chance. It changes by choice. It begins the moment you say, "Enough is enough," and you dare to rewrite your story. Your past doesn't define your future. Every day is a blank page and you are the author. So why keep writing the same old chapter? The question isn't can I change, it's am I willing to? Because transformation is uncomfortable. Growth feels like breaking. But what's painful today becomes your power tomorrow. Whether it's your health, your mindset, your relationships, your career, it all starts from one bold decision. I will not live on autopilot anymore. I will take control. So, how do you change your life forever? Let me break it down into 7 key principles that can shift your life from survival mode to a life of meaning, power, and lasting fulfillment. Real change doesn't begin with a wish. It begins with a decision so solid, so rooted, that it becomes non-negotiable. Most people say they want to change, they want to lose weight, build a business, heal emotionally, break free from a toxic relationship, or live a more purposeful life. But the truth is, they only kinda want it. It's a maybe, it's a someday, it's a when I have time. But a life-changing transformation demands something stronger. It demands a full body, full heart, no turning back type of commitment. A non-negotiable decision means that failure is not final. It means you don't back out when things get tough. It means you burn the boats and retreat is no longer an option. Think about it like this. A negotiable decision is like walking into a storm with an umbrella. A non-negotiable decision is walking into that same storm and saying, "I don't care if it rains, I'm getting to the other side." This decision changes your identity. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start declaring, "This is who I am now." The person who wakes up early, the person who trains every day, the person who speaks with confidence, the person who builds wealth, the person who respects themselves enough to say no. Once you've truly made this decision, something inside of you clicks. Your energy shifts. You're no longer looking for shortcuts. You're looking for the path that works. You stop negotiating with your fears. You stop asking for permission. You stop hesitating. You become unstoppable because now quitting is not on the table. A non-negotiable decision isn't just a promise to change. It's a vow. It's you standing in front of the mirror and saying, "I'm no longer available for the life I've tolerated. I'm building the one I deserve." This decision may cost you comfort. It may cost you friends who don't align. It may cost you late nights, distractions, or old habits. But what you gain in return is a life that's finally yours. Because when you make this kind of decision, the kind that echoes in your bones, the universe listens. Opportunities appear, people show up, your mindset begins to evolve, your body responds, your thoughts align. It's like everything conspires in your favor because you've finally committed without conditions, without excuses, and without a backup plan. And that's where it all begins. If you want to change your life forever, you have to stop handing the pen of your story to someone else. You must take it back and own the narrative completely, unapologetically, and without excuse. Responsibility is the birthplace of power. It's easy to blame your parents, your boss, your ex, the economy, your past, and sure, all of those things may have played a part. But the moment you keep pointing outward, you surrender your ability to change inward. Because what you blame, you allow to control you. Responsibility isn't about fault, it's about freedom. You may not be at fault for everything that happened to you, but you are responsible for how you respond to it, how you rise from it, and what you build after it. There's something radically liberating about standing tall and saying, "This is my life. If it's broken, I will fix it. If it's not working, I will change it. If it's painful, I will heal it. If it's stagnant, I will move it, because no one else can live this life but me." This mindset doesn't just elevate your thinking, it transforms your results. Because when you take responsibility, you stop waiting. You stop blaming timing, luck, genetics, politics, or other people's choices. You stop telling stories like it's just how I am, or I can't because they won't. You shift from powerless to powerful, and let's be honest, taking responsibility is uncomfortable. It's hard to admit where you've procrastinated, where you've played small, where you've ignored the signs, betrayed your goals, or self-sabotaged. But in that honest self-thought, it lies your ultimate strength. Because when you realize you created the current version of your life, you also realize you can create a new one. This mindset applies to everything. Your health, own it. Your finances, own it. Your energy, your effort, your boundaries, your relationships, every one of them is either strengthened or weakened by how much responsibility you're willing to take. You don't need a savior, you need a mirror. Look into it and see not just what went wrong, but what's possible when you take full ownership. When you stop waiting for someone to give you permission and start giving yourself a standard. Because responsibility isn't a burden, it's a doorway to transformation. It's the difference between drifting through life and designing it on purpose, and when you embrace that fully, you cannot change your life if you don't know where you're going. You can't hit a target you can't see. Without a vision, you're just reacting to life, surviving instead of designing. You wake up each day not with direction, but with distraction. And the sad truth is, many people spend more time planning a vacation than they do mapping out the life they truly want to live. A powerful life doesn't happen by default. It happens by design, and design starts with vision. Creating a clear and compelling vision means painting a picture in your mind so vivid, so detailed, so emotionally alive that it begins to pull you forward, even on the hardest days. It's not just about setting goals or having dreams. It's about building a mental blueprint of your ideal reality and allowing that vision to become your internal compass. What do you truly want? Strip away the noise, the expectations, the fear. What does your highest life look like? Not someone else's version, yours. Picture the energy you want to carry, the kind of relationships you want to nurture, the work that sets your soul on fire, the lifestyle that reflects your values. The person you become when no one's watching. Write it down, speak it aloud, see it every day. Your mind needs direction the same way a ship needs a map, otherwise it drifts. And make no mistake, your vision has to be compelling. Not just logical, not just realistic. It needs to move you, to stir your soul. If your vision doesn't excite you, it won't inspire you. It won't stand up against resistance, fatigue, or doubt. But when your vision is strong, clear, and emotionally charged, it becomes a source of fuel. You'll wake up early, you'll push through setbacks, you'll say no to distractions, not because of willpower, but because your why is stronger than your excuses. Vision also gives meaning to your pain. When you're clear about where you're going, even failure becomes a stepping stone. Obstacles become feedback. Delays become preparation. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Most people drift through life with foggy dreams and vague intentions. They say things like, I just want to be happy, or I want more money, but they never define what that actually means. Clarity is power. The more specific you get, the more your brain, your habits, and your environment begin aligning to support that vision. You'll start to notice the people, opportunities, and decisions that move you closer to it, not because they magically appear, but because your awareness sharpens. And your identity begins to shift too, because when you repeatedly see yourself living in your future, acting from that future, speaking from that future, something inside of you changes. You stop waiting to arrive one day. You begin to show up now as that person. That future version of you isn't waiting to be discovered. It's waiting to be unleashed. So don't play small when crafting your vision. Don't shrink it to make others comfortable. Don't limit it to what seems practical. Go bold, go deep. Make it emotional, detailed, and so real in your mind that it starts feeling inevitable, because once that vision is alive in your heart, you can have the strongest mindset, the clearest goals, and the deepest desire to change, but if your environment works against you, it will slowly drag you back into the person you're trying to leave behind. Your environment is more than your physical space. It includes your habits, your routines, your digital inputs, your daily triggers, and especially your people. It is the unseen current that either lifts you up or pulls you under. If you keep planting new intentions in the same toxic soil, don't be surprised when your growth withers. Changing your life forever requires that you become intentional about what and who surrounds you. Look around you. Do the people in your life inspire you, challenge you, support your evolution, or do they keep you comfortable, small, distracted, or stuck in old cycles of gossip, negativity, and mediocrity? Because energy is contagious. If you're surrounded by people who laugh at growth, who mock discipline, who don't believe in dreams eventually, you'll start lowering your standards just to belong. You don't need to cut people off with bitterness, but you do need to protect your future with boundaries. Elevating your environment might mean spending less time with people who drain you and more time with those who expand you, even if that means being alone for a season. Silence can be healing, solitude can be sacred, because sometimes the only way to hear your own voice is to mute everything else. Now, let's talk about your physical space. Is your home, your workspace, your phone, even your bedroom a reflection of the person you want to become? Clutter creates stress, chaos invites overwhelm, but an environment that's clean, organized, and aligned with your vision becomes a source of clarity and focus. Make your space sacred. Let it remind you of your standards, your dreams, your direction. Your digital environment matters too. Every time you scroll, every video you watch, every voice you listen to that's shaping you. If your feed is filled with negativity, outrage, distraction, and drama, your mindset will mirror that energy. But if you intentionally flood your mind with content that educates, empowers, and uplifts, you rewire yourself for growth. Upgrading your environment also includes your routines. Habits don't exist in isolation, they live within systems. If your mornings are chaotic, your day starts reactive. If your nights are filled with mindless noise, your sleep suffers. Align your routines with the life you want to live. Create structure that supports your energy. Build rituals that protect your peace, and most importantly, curate spaces where your future self feels at home, spaces that speak to the version of you that you're becoming, not the one you're outgrowing. Because when your environment aligns with your evolution, transformation becomes natural. It stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like flow. So don't underestimate the power of your surroundings. They're shaping your beliefs, your behaviors, your self-worth. If you want to rise, place yourself in spaces that expect you to rise. If you want to heal, immerse yourself in energy that feels safe, calm, and grounded. If you want to build, surround yourself with people and systems that build with you, because the environment you choose, the first moments of your day, are not just minutes on a clock, they're the foundation of your identity. How you begin your morning sets the tone for how you show up in the world. It programs your mind, your energy, and your choices for the entire day. And if you consistently start your day on purpose instead of by accident, you start to gain something far more valuable than motivation: momentum. Most people don't realize this, but every morning is a new chance to vote for the person you're becoming. That's why mastering your morning is non-negotiable if you want to change your life forever. Ask yourself, how are you beginning your day right now? Do you wake up late, stressed, grabbing your phone, drowning in notifications before your feet even touch the floor? Do you rush into the day in reaction mode, chasing time, chasing tasks, chasing peace? Or do you start grounded, intentional, aligned? Because here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your potential, you fall to the level of your systems. And your morning routine is one of the most powerful systems you'll ever create. Mastering your morning doesn't mean you need a 3-hour ritual full of cold plunges and green smoothies. It simply means that you take ownership of the first part of your day before the world gets a chance to distract you. That might start with something as simple as waking up 30 minutes earlier, not for productivity, but for presence. Use that time to connect to your why, to get quiet, to move your body, to feed your mind, to remind yourself who you are and where you're going. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's prayer, breathwork, a walk outside, or reading just one page of a book that sharpens your mindset. The tools are flexible, the principle is not. You must start your day by design, not by default, because the world is loud, and if you don't build silence into your morning, you'll lose your clarity before the day even begins. You'll let the noise of the world drown out the wisdom of your soul. Your morning is also where self-trust is built. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, whether it's waking up on time, stretching for 10 minutes, or staying off your phone, you send a message to your brain, I can rely on me, and that trust becomes your confidence. That confidence becomes your discipline. That discipline becomes your transformation. Some days it will feel hard, you'll be tired, you'll be tempted to skip it. But those are the days that matter the most. Because it's not about having a perfect morning, it's about showing up anyway. It's about creating sacred space in your life where your focus, your goals, and your spirit come before the demands of the world. And over time, that consistency compounds. You start walking into your day from a place of power, not panic. You begin each morning rooted, not reactive, clear, not chaotic. You begin to lead your life instead of chasing it. And the best part is you don't just feel the difference. You become the difference. The way you speak, the way you lead, the way you think, it all starts reflecting the inner shift you've been cultivating quietly at sunrise. Because when your morning becomes a ritual of alignment, if you're waiting to feel ready before you act, you're already losing the battle. Motivation is fleeting. It's like the weather, unpredictable, changing, unreliable. One day it shows up blazing with energy, and the next it's nowhere to be found. If your commitment to change is built on motivation alone, your transformation will always be inconsistent, driven by feelings instead of decisions. But discipline is the muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. It's the engine behind every powerful transformation, every reinvention story, every legacy ever built. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous, but it's the difference between those who dream of change and those who become it. Discipline is choosing action over emotion. It's showing up when the excuses feel justified. It's doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, because the person you want to become is more important than the mood you're in. You see, motivation is emotional, but discipline is intentional. Discipline says, I will go to the gym whether I'm tired or not. I will write, create, build even if no one claps yet. I will follow through because I said I would not because I feel like it. That kind of commitment rewires your identity. You stop being someone who needs external push and start becoming someone driven by internal principle. And once discipline becomes part of your identity, not something you do, but someone you are, everything in your life begins to shift. Discipline isn't about punishment or pressure. It's about alignment. It's about acting in a way that honors your future, your goals, your vision. You begin to realize that every small act of discipline is casting a vote for the life you're building. Every time you choose effort over ease, progress over procrastination, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who follows through. And the results, they stack up quietly, invisibly, until one day your consistency creates a momentum so powerful that people call it overnight success. But it wasn't overnight. It was built brick by brick in moments when no one was watching, when you were tired, when you doubted yourself, when it would have been easier to quit, but you didn't. Discipline is also what sustains you during the valleys. Because life won't always feel inspiring, there will be dark days, lonely ones, days when fear whispers louder than vision, and it's not motivation that will carry you through its discipline, that sacred decision to move forward anyway, to do what's necessary, not what's convenient. And the truth is, the more you act with discipline, the less motivation you actually need, because discipline creates results, and results build belief. And belief becomes the fire that burns long after the initial spark has faded. You begin to trust yourself, you begin to lead yourself, you begin to master yourself, because when you learn to move with discipline instead of emotion, failure is not the enemy, avoiding it is. One of the greatest lies we've been told is that failure is something to fear, something to hide, something that defines us. But the truth is, failure is the tuition you pay for growth. Every break through you've ever admired, every world-class athlete, visionary leader, or self-made success is built on a mountain of mistakes, setbacks, rejections, and missteps. The only difference is they chose to fail forward. Failing forward means you don't treat failure as a signal to stop. You treat it as a signal to adjust, to evolve, to get sharper, not smaller. It's not the fall that defines your path, it's what you do after you hit the ground. Most people retreat when they fail, they shrink. They tell themselves a story like, I guess this isn't for me, or maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But failure is not a verdict, it's feedback. It's life showing you where to recalibrate, where to strengthen, where to dig deeper. And if you're courageous enough to lean into it, failure becomes a mirror not of your weakness, but of your potential. Because when you fail forward, you stop asking what went wrong, and start asking what can I learn. You shift from emotional reaction to intentional reflection, and that shift is where transformation begins. Failing forward means you give yourself permission to be messy while you grow. You stop chasing perfection and start honoring progress. You stop being paralyzed by fear and start being energized by curiosity. You start seeing every setback as part of the process, not a punishment, and over time your relationship with failure changes. You stop dreading it and start respecting it, because every time you fail forward, you gain something: resilience, clarity, toughness, wisdom. You learn how to fall better, how to rise faster, how to trust yourself deeper. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who have failed so many times that failure no longer scares them. They've trained their nervous system to walk into uncertainty and risk rejection, not because they enjoy pain, but because they understand that pain is part of the price of progress. And here's something most people forget. The faster you fail, the faster you grow. The quicker you take imperfect action, the quicker you get real-world feedback. Every move you make, even if it doesn't work, gives you data, direction, and experience. So while others are still stuck in overthinking, you're evolving in real time. Failing forward is also an act of self-compassion. It means you believe in your future more than your fear. It means you forgive yourself for not getting it right the first time or the 5th time, because you're committed to the long game, not just the quick win. You become the kind of person who doesn't crumble when things fall apart. You rebuild, smarter, stronger, sharper, and every scar becomes a story, not of defeat, but of becoming, because when you start treating failure as your teacher instead of your threat. If you want to change your life forever, don't wait for the perfect moment, create it. Start today, start now with what you have, because one bold step can start a new path. You are not stuck. You are just one powerful decision away from becoming someone you've never even met yet. So, what are you waiting for?